Hey, g'day everyone. It's David here. For those of you who don't know me, all this week, various Westlakers are going to be looking at a moment in Jesus' life that leads up to Easter and just reading it to you and just sharing a few quick thoughts. And today, Monday, I'm looking at Jesus in the temple, which is from Luke chapter 19, verse 45, through to Luke chapter 20, verse 8. Let me read it to you. It says, when Jesus entered the temple courts, he began to drive out those who were selling. It is written, he said to them, my house will be a house of prayer, and you have made it a den of robbers. Every day he was teaching at the temple, but the chief priests, the teachers of the law, and the leaders among the people, they were trying to kill him, yet they could not find a way to do it because all the people hung on his words. One day, as Jesus was teaching the people in the temple courts and proclaiming the good news, the chief priests and the teachers of the law, together with the elders, came up to him. Tell us, by what authority you are doing these things, they said. Who gave you this authority? Jesus replied, I will also ask you a question. Tell me, John's baptism, was it from heaven or of human origin? They discussed it among themselves and said, if we say from heaven, he will ask, why did you not believe him? But if we say of human origin, all the people will stone us because they're convinced that John was a prophet. So they answered, well, we don't know where it came from. Jesus said, neither will I tell you by what authority I am doing these things. Now, I love this passage because it just shows you Jesus in total control of the situation. But moreover, what it shows is Jesus whose greatest desire is for people to be in relationship with him and not to be playing games. You've got really two groups of people here. You've got the people that are coming along to the temple to worship God, and more recently, to be hearing the words of Jesus. In fact, to hang on every word that he says, the passage tells us. And then you've got this other two groups of people. You've got, first of all, the money lenders and the merchants in the temple. And they've basically turned the temple into what the message calls a religious bazaar. They're selling stuff to convince people that they've got to get to God through these different sacrifices. They're shortchanging them. I mean, it's a complete mess. And Jesus is just having absolutely none of it. And he gets in there and he turns the tables over, and it's very clear he is not impressed with people that are standing in the way of others having just an authentic worship of God. And then you've got the Pharisees, the chief priests and the teachers of the law, and you would think that their heart's desire is to see people worship God, but it's very clear that's not their desire. Their desire is to trip Jesus up. They are men who are proud of their great religiosity, and they see Jesus as a threat to that because the people are hanging on his words, not on theirs. And so they try to trip him up, but Jesus is just so in control and comes back to them with a question that succeeds in making them realize that their questions of Jesus are not coming from a place of genuinely wanting to know more about him, but they're just trying to trip him up. And so Jesus just cuts right to the heart of the matter with a question that, because if they agree that John is of God, then John cleared the way for Jesus. So they acknowledge that it means that Jesus is also the promised one, and they can't bring themselves to say that. And Jesus just sees right through them. I think what I get from this passage is that, simply put, Jesus is not interested in people playing games when it comes to being in relationship with him. His great desire is to see us in a direct, real, honest relationship with him. That's Jesus' great desire for us all. And he just has no time for people who stand in opposition to that. And moreover, he's not interested in people coming to him and playing games. I guess I'm just thankful for that. Particularly at this moment when the world feels well a little crazy, a little dark, a little uncertain. I love the fact that we follow a God whose great desire is for a direct relationship with us. And even in these crazy, scary times, we can come to him directly with no games, with no sense of no pretense, no sense of pretending. We can just be ourselves and cry out and relate and talk and explain where we're at. And he hears us and he delights in that relationship. And so that's what I want to encourage you as you go into this week of Easter, realizing that the same Jesus that we're going to see resurrected in such an incredible, mighty way is also the same Jesus whose great desire is for us to be in relationship with him. So that's what I want you to think about, particularly as you just go into your own time of prayer. And my prayer will be for you all that you can experience that direct relationship with Jesus. And my prayer also will be for continued health and safety for any of you who are watching this. Be well, my friends.